Now, here's the situation. We got 16 cars on the lead lap. No free passes available because we're within 10 laps. There's no question the top 8, 10, 11 cars will not pit. I will guarantee you those cars at the back will come in and get those 4 fresh tires because, remember, nobody's been to pit road since about lap 459.
Here's what I'd be worried about. Now, wasn't it last couple of times when these 2 cars were running first and second at the end of the race, they got ready to take off, neither one of them would go?
Fuel pickup problems.
Fuel pickup problems, fuel pressure problems. Yeah. I'd be sitting there holding my breath.
Carl Edwards and Dale Jr. come on to pit road, along with A.J. Allmendinger and Clint Boyer. Those are the 4 takers among the 16 lead lap cars.
Now, here's where a single file restart on a small racetrack like this, you can't afford to give up any track position. Unless you're at the last car on the lead lap, you can't come in and start 20th.
Well, Edwards was 12th, then Earnhardt Jr. was 14th. So they're not going to lose too many spots.
And remember, one of the rules on a down finger restart within 10 laps, the lead lap, not only is it single file restart, all the lead lap cars go to the front of the pack.
So we're getting down to it here in Bristol. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin continue the lead, and guess what? More of the same coming at you on Fox next Sunday.
Time for a little Martinsville madness.
The paperclip shaped half mile.
It's the sport's shortest and oldest track.
It's too easy to make mistakes here. You've got to take it easy.
These hardy fans came here for action, and they are not going to be denied.
It just proves 3 wide does not work here in Martinsville.
I love this place. A doubleheader weekend on Fox. The Camping World Truck Series Saturday and the Sprint Cup Series on Sunday from Martinsville Speedway. A little bit of cleanup along the front straightaway of the oil dry that was put down to soak up the fluids that came out of Joey Logano's car.
And I know you want the racetrack to be clean, but that's up high. And I mean, we're down here at the end of the race, 3 or 4 laps to go.
Now look at these front 4. Kyle Busch has dominated this track, hasn't won here in 2 years. Denny Hamlin, we've said, has led the white flag lap the last 2 years in a row here, hasn't won. Jimmy Johnson in 3rd, says his resume is not complete because he hasn't won at Bristol. Jeff Gordon in 4th, other than the qualifying race at Daytona, hasn't won anywhere in a long time.
Since October of 2007.
So we're about to find out who wants it most.
And Casey Kane's in the top 10 in points in the first time in almost a year. So there's a lot of this race went just about like I thought it would. There were guys at the front that didn't stay there, and there were guys in the back that worked their way to the front.
Chris Myers.
Well, we have that movie 12 Rounds opening next Friday. We've had a few laps to go here. Jimmy Johnson off of pit road, the race off with 178 laps to go. He took the lead. Johnson has led a total of 88 laps today. But then Kyle Busch with 131 laps to go takes it back. He has dominated with over 360 laps. Moments ago, the 8th caution coming out as we saw Kevin Harvick having some problems creating a caution. Got a lot of green flag stretches, and then Logano, the teammate of Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin for Joe Gibbs Racing, bringing out the final caution. 13 lead changes, 7 different leaders, but we have teammates Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, followed by teammates Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, take a real quick look. Right, you can see that the leader's Kyle Busch. There's 16 cars on the lead lap, along with that 8 lead changes today. So what I'm looking at right now is I think Darrell and the guys have kind of set it up. When they drop the green flag, I think Denny Hamlin knows he's got to get it done. He's got to get it done in a hurry. And I think Casey Kane, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, they're sitting there going to be ready to pounce on these guys real quick to try to take advantage of what might happen here. So I think this restart is going to be critical. So
the teammate stuff may go out the window. It's every man for himself. Mike?
Denny Hamlin told us yesterday he's tired of not winning. He's 28 years old. He thinks he should have more than a handful of wins in his resume by this point. We're going to cross 500 laps this time, which means we go into overdrive and we'll have 1 attempt at a green-white checker. I think if he gets to Kyle Busch, he'll move him out of the way.
Here's a little bit of concern I have. As I was talking about him cleaning up the oil that was in the stay dry, this restart, if Kyle spins his tires, if he gets a wheel spin there on the takeoff, I mean, Denny Hamlin's going to be all over him. Matter of fact, he may be too much all over him. And so that's something that they're both going to have to watch. They're going to have to time this restart just right so that Denny doesn't run over Kyle.
But Mike, you're right. Denny Hamlin told us his rookie season back in 2006, he had the best car for 2 races. He won those 2 races. The last 2 seasons, he's had the best car several races and only won 1 time each year.
I just saw Kyle clean them up a little bit back there, and he laid 2 big black marks down. So
all right,
should have them cleaned up pretty good.
The Mustang pace car gets way out of the way, and Kyle Busch brings them down for the restart. We're in overdrive, 2 laps to go.
Everybody got a solid restart, less than 30 seconds. We'll know the winner of this thing. Casey Kane looks to the inside of Gordon. Gordon shuts the door.
Kyle nailed it on that restart. He got it just right. No wheel spin. I think it's just going to be close.
Still fine.
But he's pulling away ever so slightly. White flags in the air.
And it's Johnson to the outside of Hamlin.
Now that could be big.
Hamlin is going to have to deal with Jimmy.
You're fine, bud.
Rudeman gets bumped by Boyer. And here we come to the flag, and wild thing, Kyle Busch dominates in Bristol. With Hamlin second, Johnson third, Gordon and Kane the top 5.
And Kyle Busch will be stickering all the way to victory circle.
How about the Coach Gibbs there?
1-2.
1-2 finish.
Thanks, Jeff. Way to go, boys. Way to bring it.
You know, it's way too young in his career
career
to call Kyle Busch the dominator, but when he wins, he just really tends to put a whipping on the field.
And what I was curious, you know, last year had a phenomenal year. Sometimes kids will come into this sport and they'll have a phenomenal year. The question I've had all along is, can he continue to do that? Is he going to be that consistent for a long period of time? That's the mark of a champion.
It is the first time Kyle has won more than once at one racetrack, in scoring his 14th career victory. Second win here in 9 races. Of course, he won here March in 07. First time we ran the Car of Today chassis here. And it's his 3rd top 3 finish of 2009.
So I think it's safe to say that no one has visited Victory Lane more in 2009 than Mom and Pop Busch. 3 consecutive weekends for them.
That's right.
And that kid just is he raced 800 laps this weekend. 300 yesterday, 500 today.
In the last 2 Bristol races, last summer and today, he's led 792 of 500 laps.
But like Darrell said, this is a rerun of 2008. The question will be, got a long way to go. Can they continue that into those 10 chase races?
I think they learned a lot, Larry. I think the team did. I don't think he had to learn that much. I think the team did. I think you got to lose one to learn how to win one.
And as you mentioned, Darrell, he's also won 2 Camping World Truck races and a nationwide race this year to go with his 2 Sprint Cup victories.
He's on pace to beat the record he set last year with the 21 victories in all 3 series.
Well, he's somewhat repeating his brother's victory lap from last week. He's just doing it nose first.
Well, we're at Bristol. This was always a special track to Alan Kulwicki. There's a grandstand here named for Alan, and this is what Alan self-described as the Polish victory lap. Window net down, facing the fans, and saluting them for coming out here and supporting all these drivers.
In 1992, we all stood here in tears as Alan Kulwicki's hauler left here that day, that sad day, when Alan and some of his crew members lost their lives in an airplane crash here at the Tri-Cities.
Yeah, they were coming back from an appearance in Knoxville, and Kulwicki, the reigning champion of the series, was lost to us. So nice to see that touch from Kyle Busch as now he pulls toward victory lane.